Once epoxy is fully cured, it becomes a hardened plastic polymer known for its strength, durability, and resistance to extreme environments. During curing, epoxy undergoes a chemical process called cross-linking, which gives it its signature toughness. That same toughness, however, makes removal challenging when work needs to be done on the components underneath. Before we begin, please keep in mind, none of these methods are guaranteed. Cured epoxy is inherently difficult to remove, and there's always a risk of damaging the underlying parts. The first method we can try is physical removal. This is the most localized approach, but it still comes with a high level of risk. Make sure you're wearing safety glasses for this part. This method works best if the epoxy you're dealing with is slightly flexible. Try to work your tool between the epoxy and the substrate and pry it away. If the epoxy is thick enough, you might be able to use a chisel to chip pieces away. For very thin layers, sanding can help remove some material. Just keep in mind that physical methods won't usually remove 100% of the epoxy. The next option is to use heat. When epoxy is heated beyond its glass transition temperature, or TG, it softens and becomes more pliable, which makes it easier to remove. The farther beyond the TG you go, the softer it gets. Before you try this, think about the components you're working with. Can they handle high heat? What's the maximum safe temperature and for how long? Skipping this step can easily lead to damage of the device or substrate. If it's safe to do so, heat the epoxy as far above its TG as possible, and while it's still hot, use mechanical force to scrape or peel it away. Our final technique is chemical removal. Again, consider the materials you're working with. If there are plastics involved, know what kind they are and whether they can handle strong chemicals. A good rule of thumb is if a chemical can break down epoxy, there's a good chance it can break down other plastics too. Strong organic solvents were once the standard for removing epoxies, but due to serious health risks and tightening regulations, they are being phased out in both consumer and industrial applications. MG Chemical's 8309 and 8310A offer safer, effective alternatives. 8309 is ideal for full submersion epoxy removal, while 8310A features a gel formulation that allows for targeted application without the need for complete submersion. Both removers are biodegradable, safe for metals, and free of SVHCs, substances of very high concern, making them safer options compared to many strong solvents. High-grade 2-part epoxies will take longer to soften, so make sure the piece stays fully submerged for at least a few hours. And for this method, wear full PPE, safety glasses, gloves, protective clothing, and work in a well-ventilated area. What makes epoxies excellent for harsh environments is exactly what makes them so tough to remove. If you have to remove cured epoxy, take your time, be careful with your components, and choose the method that best fits your situation. To learn more about our conformal coating removers 8309 and 8310A, visit mgchemicals.com.